Welcome. As you settle in, allow your body to find a comfortable position. Breathe slowly, evenly, and let the modern world fade into the background. Tonight, we are stepping into the cloistered silence of the medieval monastery, a world that seems so serene from a distance, with its stone walls, quiet gardens, and the faint echo of chanting voices drifting across the courtyard. But behind that peaceful image was a life far more rigid, repetitive, and quietly exhausting than most imagine. The monastery was not a place of ease, but a life. Ruled by bells, by discipline, and by denial, a place where every moment of the day was claimed by prayer. By fasting, by work that never seemed to end, a place where silence was law, where hunger was common, and where sleep was regularly broken before dawn. Over the next 2 hours, we will wander through that world. We will imagine the daily rhythms of the ordinary monk, the quiet struggles of the men who lived within those walls. We will look at the life of a powerful abbot, who shaped not only his monastery, but the architecture of Europe. We will explore the mysteries of lost manuscripts, and finally, we will step into the contrasting lives of nobles who held power over these institutions. But we begin gently, by imagining yourself inside the monastery itself, with all its chill stone, its dimly lit chapels, and its ceaseless prayers. Imagine, if you will, that you are a monk living in a monastery. The day begins with the toll of the great bell in the middle of the night. You rise and join the other brothers for matins. The chapel is dark, the air thick with incense. For an hour, you chant the psalms until the first light of dawn. There is little rest after that. Soon it is time for lauds. The cycle continues, dictating when you eat, when you work, when you sleep. Meals are simple: porridge, maybe a piece of bread, cheese, or beans. Silence is kept, broken only by the lector reading aloud from Scripture. All day you work, tending the gardens, brewing ale, copying manuscripts. All tasks are done in obedience to the order of the monastery. As evening falls, you gather again for vespers, the last prayer of the day. The colored glass windows paint the walls in hues of red and blue. And so the day ends as it began, with the toll of the bell, a summons to sleep. You lie down on your straw mattress, the cold stone floor seeping into your bones.
Ow.
But it is not unpleasant. This is holy ground, and you are a holy man. Meet Abbot Suger. He might not be a name you're familiar with, but without him, Europe might look a lot different. See, Suger was born around the year 1082, obscure parents, in the middle of what is now Paris. At age 10, he was sent to the monastery of St. Denis, where he eventually rose to become abbot. That's like going from an unknown peasant to the head monk of one of France's most important churches. And he didn't get there by being a saintly monk who lived a pure life of prayer and contemplation. No, he got there by being smart, savvy, and ambitious. As abbot, he befriended a local prince, got himself appointed to a seat in the royal court, and basically became the king's right-hand man. He was also a patron of the arts and oversaw the construction of the first Gothic cathedral. But not everyone was happy with Suger's rise to power. Some thought he was too ambitious and worldly. Others thought he was corrupt and hypocritical. But Suger didn't care what they thought. He believed that God had a special plan for him and that he was just following God's will. To find out more about Suger and other fascinating figures from history's hidden monasteries, stay tuned. Imagine a medieval monastery. You might picture stone chapels and cloistered gardens. But tucked away within those walls was something less visible, yet perhaps even more powerful: the library. It's not like the great public libraries of today. No vast rows of shelves open for browsing, no crowds of eager students. Instead, you enter a dim, cool chamber. The air is thick with the scent of parchment and leather bindings of wax and dust. Light filters in through narrow windows, leaving most of the room in shadow. The silence here is deep, a silence that hums with the weight of centuries. Here, monks copied manuscripts by hand, painstakingly forming each letter. Mistakes were scraped away and rewritten. Some books took months, or even years to complete. The result was not just a book, but an object of devotion. A single volume might cost as much as a small farm. So the monastery guarded its books closely. Many were sacred: Bibles and psalters, writings of the church fathers. But not all. Some contained dangerous knowledge, texts on medicine or herbs that could heal, but also poison, Old philosophy, writings of Aristotle and Plato, his ideas the church had grown to fear, even dangerous words that bordered on heresy. These books were hidden, locked away in cupboards or chained to desks, their words kept secret from prying eyes. What secrets did these books hold? Why were some locked away and some left out in the open? What did the monks know that we don't? To find out what lay in the shadows of those great libraries, imagine a monastery rising out of the landscape. Tall walls of stone, a church spire reaching into the sky. Around it, fields stretch out, dotted with sheep or vineyards. These lands did not appear by accident. They were gifts, not of charity, but of obligation. A noble might grant a parcel of land to a monastery in return for prayers for his soul. His name would be recited in the daily liturgy, his sins lifted in the hope of heavenly pardon. Others gave for prestige, to see their family name carved into a church wall, their coat of arms displayed in stained glass. Some gave simply to secure influence. To endow a monastery was to weave it into your own web of power. The monastery was not the simple haven of peace it might appear from a distance. It was a world of labor and austerity, of ambition and compromise, of whispered secrets and golden visions.